What's up guys, back with another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be talking about the FX3, which I have here in my hand. More importantly, it's a 6-month real world review from someone who has used this camera and pretty much just taken it through conditions that you probably shouldn't take it through. From 70 miles an hour on a bass boat to the middle of the desert in Utah, this camera has seen it, it has done it, and it has filmed it. So I don't want this to be a long video. I want to jump right into the pros and the cons of this camera and kind of give a review of it. Pros, the autofocus is phenomenal. The XLR handle, while I'm going to talk about that as a con, having the XLRs is great. Being able to connect two XLRs and a 3.5 millimeter audio source is great, and being able to access those audio channels and your levels right there is phenomenal on a camera that is this size. It works well on a gimbal, which you can't beat that. You got 4K 60, you got dual ISO, you've got 10-bit, you've got the new CFA cards that Sony makes, which those are ridiculously fast when you're offloading footage. You've got this nice little clear image zoom, which I use all the time. The cinema body, you can't beat it. I use this one all the time versus my A7S III because of the cinema body. It's just kind of hard to beat it when it's laid out there for you. With the cinema body, you get the tally lights, you get the fan, and this one has the stabilization, whereas the FX6 has the built-in ND filters. So let's jump right into the cons, because 6-month review, people don't really care about the pros. They know about the pros of the camera. They want to know about the cons of the camera, the people that are actually using it. So the overheating issue has been fixed. If yours is still having issues, that may just be on the camera itself, and you may want to send that back. But you want your fan to be on auto, and you want your heat level to be set to high. I'm sure there's plenty of videos out there that already talk about that. It is a cinema body, so if you are coming from an A7S III, an A7 III, A7R, whatever, you are going to have a bit of a learning curve getting to know this body versus the other A7S III body, just because it is different. No EVF. The buttons are laid out like a cinema body, which I love, but it will take some getting used to if you're coming from a different Sony camera. Talking about the EVF, there's no EVF, as you can see here, and unfortunately, that is a con for me. I use this in the sun all the time, and being able to look through the camera would be phenomenal. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen because there's no EVF. No variable NDs. That's an easy fix. You just buy a variable ND filter, and I know those cost money, but that's the fix. Now, talking about the XLR handle, Sony's got to do better, because I can show plenty of reviews, just people just breaking them. I've already cracked mine, and it just feels really cheap. So hopefully, if you're waiting on this review, or you're waiting on the updated version, when Sony comes out with that, they'll fix the XLR handle, because that is just, in my opinion, is very sad excuse for a handle. It works for a handle, it's just very cheap, and from the groups I'm in on Facebook and other people that I know who have these, they have said the same exact thing. The mounting points on this thing is the last con that I have from real world reviews. It's just very tough. As you can see, I do have the Tilta cage on here. You can watch my last video with the Tilta cage talking about the mounting points further, because where they placed on this camera is very tough for you to use anything. If you place it here, you can't use your HDMI thing without taking it off. If you place them here, you can't use the XLR handle. Place it here, it gets in the way of the handle itself. So it's just kind of I think they should kind of reconsider where the mounting points go on this thing. As far as the conditions this camera's been through, I mean, I've taken it on bass boats doing 70, 75 miles an hour. It's, sitting in the boat doing this right here. No issues. Battery life has been phenomenal, just like on the A7S III. So who's this camera for exactly? If you do photos, I'm just going to tell you right now, I would go with the A7S III. That's because using this for photos is a bit tough. You don't have the EVF. The body on this is meant for video, so it's not going to be as accessible as the A7S III or the A7R or whatever it may be as far as getting to the photo capabilities that you need. Now, it does do photos. It does photos phenomenally well. I just don't use it for that. But if you're someone like me who is going to eventually one day hopefully own a cinema camera and going to be making short films or documentaries or commercials or whatever it may be, I think this camera is definitely a step in the right direction. I think it's definitely something you won't regret buying, especially if you are a one-man band, you're a freelancer, you're someone who usually doesn't have someone else on set with you. This camera does a phenomenally well job at autofocus, stabilization. The tally lights are incredible for when you have to walk away from the camera. You know it's still recording. The clear image zoom is great for when I'm doing YouTube videos and don't really care about the office look, zooming in on something and zooming out. It does it well. And these features, they are on the A7S III, like the clear image zoom, but it's so buried in the menu system, it's just kind of not even worth trying to find it if you really, really need it. You can just punch it into, crop mode or something. Now, this one won't crop in 4K, but it does do the clear image zoom in 4K. So, 6 months in, honestly, my review is if you are like me and you travel a lot and you need a camera that can do a ton of stuff and will help you out because you are a one-man band, this is the camera for you. If you don't need stabilization or you don't need autofocus, there's plenty of other opportunities and options out there for you to jump into. But this camera, I don't think you can beat. I hope this review helps you out. And if you're going to purchase the camera, it helps you out and you are happy with it, I guess. I enjoy it. It works great for me. Appreciate it.